Hey everybody, how's it going? Stout Man coming back at you once again, and today I'm going to be showing you some pretty interesting titles that I found on Amazon. Two of them came from Amazon through Amazon Prime, but one of them I paid the extra shipping to get just because it was such a good deal, you know what I mean? And that came from another buyer. I don't usually do that, but sometimes when the deal is good enough, I'm just like, you know what? Sure, I'll wait the extra 2 weeks for them to ship it, you know what I mean? And in this case, I think you'll understand why I did it. So, anyways, let's just actually get started off with that one, shall we? Because it's a pretty cool case here. I got, oops, Inside Out here, Disney movie for, it came to like $8 shipped. It was like, I think it was a little under 4, and then there was a $4 shipping. The end result is that I paid about $8 and some change, and got this coming to me for a really good deal. It has been hard to find. I've been looking for this one for quite some time for, about the $10 range, and I just have not seen it anywhere for that price. And so, when I finally saw it drop down to that price, I just jumped on it as quickly as possible. I loved this movie. I know not everybody did, but I think it was great. I mean, when I first saw it, like the first time I watched it, I thought to myself, I, I guess I can understand why some people like it, but I don't know if I'm really that into it. But then I let it, sink in after watching it. I gave myself some time to think about it. And as I thought about it, I was just like, holy crap. This is actually kind of a powerful movie. And as I'm thinking about all the things that we actually see in the movie and how they deal with emotions and all that, just like, this is actually probably one of the most powerful, poignant movies that Disney's done in a long time. And I loved it for that. I mean, sure, it wasn't perfect. It could have been funnier. It could have been a little bit more entertaining at times, but for what it was and for what they tried to do with it, it really worked pretty dang well, in my opinion. I think everybody loves the imaginary friend in this movie. I'm not the only one, I know that much. And yeah, it's just. I'm not going to give anything away, but it's a very, very good movie for anybody who's ever had an imaginary friend, anybody who's ever had trouble processing their emotions, and everybody has at some point in their life. Um, but I mean, I feel like it also kind of spoke to me as somebody who has an anxiety disorder, mental issues of some sort. I feel like it could probably speak to people like that fairly well. It spoke to me in that manner because I often have trouble with my emotions as a result of that. Because what happens is, at this point, at this stage in the game, I no longer get necessarily depressed. And that's a good thing, right? Because it used to be when I was a kid, my reaction would be to become depressed. That was the symptom that I would feel as a result of the anxieties that I was feeling. And now it's to the point where I don't feel depressed, I feel upset. I feel angry sometimes because I can't control it, right? And the inability sometimes to control the things that happen in your head just drives me up a wall. Not being able to control when I do and don't freak out about something that is not worth freaking out about. That even when I'm freaking out about it, at the time that it's happening, I know right at that time that I shouldn't be freaking out about it, and this is stupid to freak out about it. I still, even at that time, even when I am telling myself, don't need to freak out about it, can't stop myself. It's like a physiological, literally, physically, mentally cannot stop myself. There is no way. And when I lose that control, it pisses me off. So, that's what it is now. But it used to be, I would say, worse. So I think it's an improvement now, but it's still like, I need to work on this. So as somebody who sometimes has trouble processing his emotions, freaking fantastic movie. I love it. I can't wait to watch it again. So glad to have gotten it for such a good deal. The only issue I have with it, and it's to be expected when you get a used copy of anything, but the middle, what do they call it? Like a little, it's like a page, right? But the middle thing here is not connected properly. It broke somewhere along the way, but you know, whatever. Still a good deal for like $8 and some change. Fantastic deal. Next up, I found open season for I want to say it was with tax and everything included. It was about $4 total, maybe a little bit over that, to have it shipped to my house, Amazon Prime and everything. And that was the main reason I did it, because that's about the price point that I've had for this one for quite some time. But for whatever reason, even when I have the opportunity to get it for that price, it's been around that price before, right? But I haven't come across it at the right time, or it's been something where it's like, yeah, it's the right price, but it's not with free shipping or something, or it's almost the right price in the store, but not quite, I don't know. I've been a stickler about this one because this was so mass produced that it is everywhere, and you can find it for a good price pretty much anywhere. So when I can't find it for like a really good price when it should be because of how mass produced it is, it's like, okay, I'm not going to pay that much. I'm not going to pay that much. And so I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And finally, I found it for what I consider to be, I think, the right price for it. I enjoy this movie, but I don't think it's like the best animated film ever. So, I mean, for something I'm probably going to watch maybe a couple more times in my entire life, I basically paid rental price. And that's about the price I'm willing to pay for a movie like that, where I'm not going to watch it a whole lot more in my whole life, So, yeah, I like it though. I like it enough, obviously, to purchase it. I liked it enough that I want it in my collection. That if I ever get the inkling that I want to watch it, there it is in my collection. You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess some people would look at me and say, "What the hell is wrong with you? I don't understand your point of view at all." But I don't know. Works for me. Last but not least here in this animated pickup video from Amazon, I picked up the entire animated series, well, so to speak, of the Yogi Bear Show. It's the complete series. Of course, this is their Diamond Collection, which is their repackaging of all the sets that they had put out previously in the black boxes. Which, yeah, the black boxes are nicer, but again, as I pointed out before, they take up more space on your shelf. So, these are actually kind of preferable to that. Unfortunately, again, as with the Huckleberry Hound one that I got previously, the discs are stacked. That's truly unfortunate, you guys. Truly, truly unfortunate. However, I will say that I still think it's a great deal, because it was about $12 and some. It was like $12.07 or 12. No, it was $12.09. I remember now, $12.09 with free Prime Amazon Prime shipping. So, yeah, I had to go for it because that's probably the lowest price I've ever seen on this title. Period. Ever, like even when it was only in the black box edition. So, yeah, I mean, even if I have to go and pay another $1 or something to get the right kind of case that I want for this, which I am intending to do, it's still worth it, because then it's $13, and I'm still saving money over what I would have paid for it, between $15 and $20 at the cheapest in the other format. And then, of course, it will also save shelf space. So, I think it's worth it, If you're the kind of collector who wants to save shelf space, who wants to get these titles, but you don't want to get the big little box set versions because it's too much shelf space, and you want to take advantage of the sales that they're doing here, but you don't like the cases that they chose for these, you know, just get like a disc overlapping case or something like that. One that's kind of like a book, like the Blu-ray case that I showed you. The unfortunate problem with those is that they break pretty often. But that's why I would recommend getting one where it's like on one side of the case you've got where one disc would be, and then these are 3 disc sets, by the way. So on the other side you'd have overlapping discs, one on top and one at the bottom. So they don't touch each other per se, it's just they're overlapping. And as long as they're not touching each other, the discs will be fine. And that's the problem with these sets, is that they're stacked, and when you have stacked discs, they're touching each other all the time, and they're going to get scratches. So, yeah. Anyways, still a really cool deal, I think. 33 episodes of Yogi Bear, one of my favorite shows when I was growing up. So, yeah, very happy to have that. I didn't like a whole lot of the Hanna-Barbera stuff growing up. I liked quite a bit of it, because I watched quite a bit of Cartoon Network back when it first started up. But, I mean, if I had to choose my favorites, the ones that I'm actually going to watch again, like Huckleberry Hound, that'll go in there. Yogi Bear, that'll go in there. But, like, you know, there are a lot of them that just I'm not that into anymore. I may have been into them a little bit when I was a kid, but now, nah, not that interested. So anyways, that is that for this pickup video. Got 3 pretty interesting titles from Amazon for a pretty good price. Let's say 12, 20, so about 25 bucks for all 3. It's not a bad deal to get some delicious, awesome animated goodness in your collection. One, of course, being a fantastic Disney title. Another being I think this is DreamWorks title that some people hate, some people like, whatever, was cheap. And then, of course, how can you go wrong with Yogi Bear? You can't. So anyways, that'll do it for me today. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later. Peace.